Hello, intrepid trumpeters and others who may be watching this video randomly. We're going to be looking at number 13 in the 21 Lip Flexibilities for Trumpet by Nathan Ost. As usual, I'm going to be switching around, and now I'm playing my cornet. And it's an instrument I don't play very much, and that's exactly why I'm playing it now. So it kind of keeps me on my toes, as I mentioned before. And it makes the job more interesting. So I may switch to some other instruments in the video, and I hope that doesn't bother you. So we're going to try and play through number 13. It looks like it's a pretty fast tempo, and I was talking a little bit about that last time. I have a couple of different ideas this time about it, but I'm going to play through at a more moderate tempo first. Interesting. Now, I just randomly thought, oh, I should articulate that. And many of you, when you try this, just go ahead and single tongue it. You may feel that it's easier, that you have more control, that it's physically easier, more fun, when you tongue it than when you slurred it. And that means you need to work on your slurring. It also means, in my opinion, that you're using the tongue to secure the notes. So you're kind of, in a sense, kind of spitting the notes. And that's not wrong. It's a way to do it. But when we come to the physical aspects of playing the trumpet, you want to make things as simple and as consistent as possible, so you can train these coordinations in, and they become second nature. There's no conscious thinking about what you're doing physically. There's just listening to the sound and trying to hit the target of your musical imagination. So let's talk a little bit about musical imagination. I'm going to switch to flugelhorn. And for those of you who are interested, it's a vintage Quino, and it's a lovely instrument. Much more difficult to play than my other modern instruments, by the way, but it has a beautiful sound. At least I like the sound. So I'm going to do that again, and this time I'm going to suggest another idea. Now, this is in 4/4. If I play it faster, and this is the top tempo that Mr. Ost has suggested. Oh, I wasn't too far off that, actually. So a little bit of distraction in the middle. My blood sugar is getting low. It's late in the day. I have to stay on task. Okay, Steve, wake up. Now that was kind of fun. And you can't expect perfection, but what was I doing? Well, at that speed, I'm not actually thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like some of the Jamie Aebersold materials, if you've ever used that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a metronome feel. There's nothing wrong with that. It's hopefully, unless your battery's running low, it's a dependable, or if you have a mechanical metronome, it's a dependable reference for a tempo. But it's not what I mean when I say tempo. Tempo is a feeling of flow. So what I do is I break this up into larger beats. It's very easy to see. All the eighth notes are barred in groups of 4. Just think of it in a la breve, in cut time. So you're feeling it in 2 rather than in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. The eighth notes are flowing all by themselves. felt way easier to me. And the only change I made was mental. That's very important. It's something I want you to really experiment with for yourself, and see the difference it makes. And sometimes you just stumble on a way of thinking about something that works better. When you make a discovery like that, I suggest that you write it down. Now most trumpeters don't do that, and I'm certainly guilty of that, but I've taken a lot of mental notes over the 60-some years I've been playing the trumpet, and some of them actually stick. But for you people who are especially in the advancing stages of an intermediate player, let's say, when you discover something that works, it's going to save you a whole lot of grief if you just write it down. Now, the whole idea is just write something down. It can be just a single word that reminds you of that thing that you discovered. Now, it might be something like what I just mentioned. Of course, we learn things from our teachers. We learn things from observing other players. But a lot of the things that we learn happen during our practice. So that's what you want to tap into. So, I was pretty close to the tempo. Now I'm going to play it on C trumpet. Of course, when I do this, cold, I'm up a step. And that really shouldn't make much difference. I'm going to try it with the metronome. Boy, that goofed my ear up. I need to hear the note before I play. Now, yum. I just wasn't present in real, I just said it. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be playing up, no, but I wasn't hearing it. Now I'm in the musical environment. I'm actually hearing the pitch and I know where it is. It helps to play it on the horn for many of us. Oh yeah, there it is, but I should have had that first and then I wouldn't have had any issues. Let's try it. In some ways that was easier, and the secret of that is I play C trumpet most of the time. So it's like, oh yeah, this is home, and it feels pretty easy to do that. Now there's one thing that I would go back and practice, and that is the octave slur in the fifth bar. I play the note, but if you slowed it down and listened to it, recorded it and then slowed it down and listened to it, you're going to hear that it wasn't quite secure on the note. It was a little bit pinched, the sound wasn't quite there. So this is something really valuable to do in any playing situation that you're in when you're practicing the material. Solo, excerpt, etude, whatever it might be. When you hear that the sound isn't quite there, take your time to find the sound, because what you're finding is the path, the physical path through the notes. So I'm going to just play 4 and 5 again. Now, I made the slur, it was okay, but I could tell when I was on the lower A, I wasn't actually ready to play the upper A. And this is this feeling of momentum. Most trumpet players break that feeling of momentum because there's a little bit of panic comes in. We all have our habits which we learn through bitter experience of failure in being able to do certain things on the trumpet. So a lot of people are going to be immediately putting more pressure on. Sometimes that's necessary. That's not a problem. But if the pressure that comes on, or the choking in your throat, or the locking in your abdominal muscles, causes the vibration of your lip to be stifled, you're not going to get the sound that you want. So all you're really looking for is that free vibration of your lip. It's very simple. So that's what happened in my throat. And this happens to most players. It would just be no noise, or, and there's a tremendous amount of difference in the energy of the air when you don't let go of your throat. So I can play my whole range on the instrument, as long as I don't squeeze the air, as long as I don't choke the air, as long as I don't hold back with the air at the same time that I'm blowing the air. And that's what most trumpet players are doing a lot of the time. Now, not everybody has the same problems. Some people are playing wide open and they don't have enough focus, so there's this huge wall of air that goes through all the notes. And that results in a big sound, but one that lacks the focus to carry into great distances with ease. It lacks kind of coherency to the sound. So I'm not just talking about the beauty of the sound, although that's a wonderful thing to strive for. I'm talking about the qualities in the sound that are an indicator of whether your body is coordinated to produce as much freedom of vibration, resonance as possible. When that's the case, it's fun to play. Now don't be discouraged if you can't play this easily. You have to simplify it and slow it down. But I'll give you one more hint and then I'll let you go. You notice that there is a very insistent note. In the first two bars, it's an A, and in the third bar, it's an F. In other words, there's a note that you keep coming back to in the middle register. And so all you're doing, in a sense, is sustaining that one note. You get the idea. Now, if I can sustain that one note without de, so I get a free feeling of flow and ease, and everything is balanced, now I'm ready to play the next note. And that's how you build. So I'm sure you're wanting to go practice right now. So take the time and do that. And I'll join you when you have a moment later on. And maybe we'll look at the next one in here, the next couple, which look kind of interesting to me. All right, have a great day. Enjoy your practice. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.